に合わせて叫べ勝利の雄たけびを秘密戦隊ゴレム忍者
Chapter 16, Biomic Soldier Crisis. Author's note: the appearance of Trini and Kimberly for the Bioman episodes are based on these reasons. Trini happened to be the first Yellow Ranger in Power Rangers history, while Mika is the first female Yellow Ranger in Super Sentai. Also, to the Filipino fans, Hikaru Katsuri was dubbed as Kimberly much before MMPR came to their shores instead of Zyuranger. Also, an interesting note is that both Hikaru Katsuki and Amy Jo Johnson have also become singers themselves sometime in their career. The weirdest coincidence was that Mika died in episode 10 of Bioman because the actress Yuki Yamya left out of pay disputes with the Japanese Action Club, and years later, Thuy Trang had pay disputes with Saban Entertainment. Thuy Trang left, so the character of Trini was written off but not killed, as it was not allowed in the US standards of children's TV. Then, on September 9th, 2001, Thuy Trang also bit the dust in a car accident, an incident which some fans try to connect her death with that of Mika's death. At least she didn't die like Mika did. Mika's death was tragic enough, never mind hers. This was probably one of Agzuki's biggest flaws, not just as a writer of fan fiction, but also as a fan in general. He can't separate the actors from the characters who played them. Thuy Trang's real-life death in a car crash on September 3rd, 2001, not the 9th, and Mika's death at the hands of Mason and Sigurd in the 10th episode of Bioman have nothing in common. What's made even worse is the projecting of Mika's character traits onto Trini so he can make these comparisons, indicating that Thuy Trang's death is the only thing about Trini that he can identify with, which is just insulting. And sadly, this isn't the only example, if you haven't guessed by the abundance of appearances by Kimberly, Cole, Jasmine, Sakura, and Mako. It isn't because he enjoys the personalities or the actions taken by their characters, but rather the fact that he wants to have sex with Amy Jo Johnson, Rick Medina, Ayumi Kinoshia, Hakura Sunoiga, and Rin Tagashi. More on that topic in a few weeks. After the events of the explosion, Eri and Natsuki are still forced to break gravel until they've learned their lesson in some area of the new skybase. It was their next day of detention. Miki Masugi was to see that they were doing their jobs right. "That's it, girls, keep working. You should know better than to play in the laboratory," said Miki Masugi. "Wah!" said Natsuki and Eri, who were still pounding more rocks as punishment as they had to be taught a lesson. "And by the way, Mako is still cooking your dinner. Yukuto will serve dessert. Curry sponge," said Miki Masugi. "No!" shouted Natsuki and Eri, pleading for mercy. Mako arrived, cheerfully bringing one of her worst dishes from Shinkenger. "Ikimasu," said Mako. "I hope you enjoy my horrible cooking." "Wah!" said Natsuki and Eri, pleading for their stomachs. Meanwhile, Director Aya was alerted about the arrival of a new particular character who was rescued behind the scenes of the Dynaman episode. His name is Spike, Skull's son from Power Rangers Samurai. So Bulk and Skull, both of you do not come from 2005 like the rest of you were recruited. How they fell here is something I'd like to consider why they do not come from the same time periods and Tommy and the other Power Rangers. What's funnier is he is Skull's son. I do find everything weird about that, said Director Aya. "What?" said Supreme Commander Ryu in total shock off his seat. "That has got to be some serious mistake, Director. Maybe it's just some speculation you heard. Spike is Skull's son? Oh my, I hate to imagine who his mother is." "I am not kidding you, Supreme Commander. I do not want to believe it, but it happens to be true. You are going to get shocked at the incidents," said Director Aya. "I was hoping that Natsuki and Eri would learn their lessons. If the laboratory exploded, it would be bad news for all of us. On the other hand, Kai Semezu will be sent on his first mission. I hope everybody will be getting along well, and we do not have to keep sending people to higher punishment," said Supreme Commander Ryu. "I hope it goes well," said Director Aya. Spike is seen being given his uniform for work at the new skybase. Bulk and Skull was there with him. "Well, son, I want you to promise me you'll always be at your best here," said Skull. "Oh, sure, Dad," said Spike. Spike was walking around. He happened to start admiring himself on Kaoru, who was just about his age as she arrived. Kaoru was passing by with Tamba. "Wow, what a girl! She's so gorgeous! I think she's just my age," said Spike, drooling at Kaoru. Spike then decided that Kaoru was the girl for him. He went near Kaoru. "Hey, gorgeous, want to hang out with me? My name's Spike," asked Spike in a rude manner, trying to get on Kaoru. "Don't be rude," said Kaoru. "Drooling isn't appropriate here." "Hey, show some respect before the princess, Kaoru," said Tamba. Kaoru then hit Spike with her fan, causing him to faint. "I can't give up on such a hot babe. Kaoru, what a wonderful name of a woman. Oh, she's so hot," said Spike before he fainted. "Kaoru, do you want me to take care of this guy?" said Tamba. "Never mind, Tamba. I believe he's learned his lesson." The new batch of warriors were selected. They were Jason, Makito, Kai Semenzu, Trini, and Kimberly. "I can't wait to meet Sentai's first female Yellow Ranger, although it's a sad fact that she's already dead now. I met her spirit before I came here," said Trini. "I wonder what's really going on," said Kai Semenzu. "I was just doing my business by the aquatics shop, and then some bad guys came and attacked, causing my powers to return again." "They're the United Alliance of Evil," said Jason. "Many old enemies have come back to life, seeking their revenge against their enemies." "That's really terrible to hear about," said Makito. "I know," said Trini, "and I was hoping to live my life fulfilling my dead brother's wishes. But here I am again, fighting for justice." Kimberly can be seen playing the flute with Kohata Hanori, who wanted to learn more from her, to ease her spirits before the battle begins. She was disturbed at the fact that Skull actually had a son somewhere in his lifetime. "I'm just glad I'm not the mother. I hope he doesn't lie to his son that I'm his mother," said Kimberly, playing Mozart's music on her flute. "Is anything disturbing you, Kimberly Nissan?" asked Kohata Hanari, noticing Kimberly's disturbed expression. "Oh, nothing really, Kota," said Kimberly, who continued to play her flute with confidence. "You're really such an amazing woman. You're pretty and talented after all," said Kohata Hanari. "Thanks," said Kimberly. "You are too, Kohata. I like your soothing music." At the United Alliance of Evil headquarters, Radiguet is ready to assemble his own team to counter the Biomen. As for everything else, I will assign this mission to Tranza, Trakina, Mezagog, and Shizuka to crush the Biomen, said Radiguet. Florius then came in doing some silly dances. "What about me, Emperor?" said Florius with a silly stance. "Oh, forget it," said Radiguet, who then fired a projectile at Florius. "Haven't you forgotten you did screw up an almost successful mission because of your recklessness? Scram, Florius! Tranza, you'll need this piece of meteorite I found. I used one of them to create the monster that neutralized the Jetmen's powers." "Oh, that was just a piece of rock," said Tranza. "Don't you forget how the Jetmen eventually countered it. That plan wasn't very good, you know." "There won't be only one, but many," said Radiguet. "And you four will collaborate with Gear for the creation of the weapon to destroy both the Biomen and the United Super Sentai and Power Rangers Alliance. This weapon can neuralize their powers in one shot, making it easier for us to kill them." "Interesting," said Drakina. "But with a weapon like that, who knows what can happen even to the rest of Super Sentai?" "Ah, but I prefer to do brute force," sighs Mezagog. "Or mine, strangling them with my Necrolod," said Shizuka. "How about we turn it into a monster?" suggested Gecko. "None of my watch, stupid bird," said Radiguet, shaking his cage. In the Sentai year 1984, we have the Biomen, namely Shiru Go, Shinko Taskai, Ryuta Nambara, Miki Kozi, and Hikaru Katsugi. They can be seen in their base, noticing strange developments have begun. "People, this is indeed very strange. There have been readings of people suddenly appearing in these sectors. Could it be Gear with a new plan?" said Shiro. "We can't discount the possibility of new Empire Gear moving to hatch another of their wicked schemes. We must act immediately," said Mika. "Mika, don't be so rushed," said Shiro. "You get yourself killed like that." "I agree, Mika. We have to be careful. Gear may be gaining new allies, or we could be facing enemies more powerful than Gear," said Shiro. "We must find out what's going on about them," said Mika, who was about to take off on her own. At the Gear Empire base, Dr. Man was preparing his own course of action against the enemy forces. The Biomen were his major concern. "It seems there are intruders coming from somewhere, Dr. Man-sama. I feel there is too much competition," said Mason. "This is a threat to our conquest for the world." "Farah," said Dr. Man. "Yes, sir," said Farah. "Is there anything I can do for you, Dr. Man-sama?" "I want you to find out anything about them. Mason will be sent on a separate pathway. We must find out what they want," said Dr. Man. "If possible, negotiate with them so we can get them to give us resources to defeat the Biomen." "Interesting. 5 human beings and— Wait, some rival organization, said Mason. We don't know who they are. They could pose a threat to Gear's conquest. Then destroy them if you have to, Mason, said Dr. Man. For the man, said Mason and Farah. Monster was disappointed not to be sent. I can't believe Dr. Man plays me down too much, said Monster. The heroes were preparing to face the new threat of the United Alliance of Evil, or New Empire Gear. The heroes prepared to split up if they could find anything. Trini can be seen driving her motorcycle, only to be stopped by some green ooze on the floor. Huh? What's going on? Said Trini as she noticed she could not move forward. Suddenly the green ooze emerged into Meltzer, who got hit by Trini's motorcycle. Just then the ooze began to stop Trini's tracks. Oh no, this isn't good at all, said Trini, who was struggling. The ooze began to materialize into Melzer. Trini was shocked. Foolish girl, you're going to face Gear's wrath, said Melzer. A monster, said Trini. Farah and Farah Cat suddenly appeared to interrogate her. One of those intruders, said Farah. What? Who are you? Asked Trini as she took off her helmet. I am Farah, one of the big 3 of the New Empire Gear, said Farah, and my cute kitten is Farah Cat, and I am Melzer of one of the Beastnoids. Now you there, answer us. Who are you people? Where do you come from? Said Farah. We're some of the United Super Sentai and Power Rangers Alliance, said Trini, and you people have messed up big time. I am Trini, by the way. Oh, and I still have other jobs to do than mess with you, Farah. Think you can mess with us, can you? Said Farah. Farah Cat, destroy her. Farah Cat landed on Trini, a well-timed jump kick. Trini and Farah Cat into a serious cat fight, landing in a high place followed by some kicks. Farah Cat knocked down Trini into a fountain, only to be countered by a splash of water from Trini herself. She's good. She's as strong as Yellow 4, said Farah, as she saw Trini running away, trying to contact her teammates. She wanted to morph, but she was still being pursued by Farah Cat. Mesler transformed himself into slime and quickly countered Trini. She was held fast. It's time you met your doom, said Mesler. Not on my watch, said Trini. The Biomen arrived on the spot where Farah was, as Shiro Go was led by a bird. The Biomen came down and did their transformation sequence. Biomen! Bad timing, said Farah. The Biomen, said Trini, and there's the first female Yellow Ranger, as I've read about her in the archives. Farah Cat decided to leap onto Trini once more, but was countered by Yellow 4, who fired her strobe flash attack, stunning Farah Cat. Trini was finally able to morph into Yellow Ranger 1 and beat the crap out of some of the mecha clones. So you guys asked for it, don't you? Yellow Ranger action attack, said Yellow Ranger 1, doing a series of quick actions in 4 turns. Oh, what is this? Confusing but awesome, said Yellow 4-1. Looks like she's on our side, Yellow 4, said Red 1. Jason and the others arrived on the spot to run into the Biomen. The Biomen suited out, and so did Yellow Ranger 1, referring back to Trini. It's the Biomen, said Jason. Wait, how do you know about us, said Shiro. Believe it or not, we're from the future, said Jason. Your timeline is in danger, as you know the United Alliance of Evil is here to try and team up with Gear to destroy you and every Super Sentai warrior in history. That's all pretty confusing, said Shinko. Are you saying there's a timeline disruption? That's just about it, said Makito. Those guys are trying for some reason to rewrite the whole Super Sentai history. Meanwhile, Trini and Mika had some talk. Thanks for saving me, said Trini. I'm Trini, a photojournalist. I'm Mika, said Mika. I do find it surprising that you're a photojournalist just as I am. Seeing Farah Cat about to smash your camera was depressing, so I had no choice but to hit her with that flash of light. I can't believe there are still other warriors who protect this world from danger. Thanks, said Trini. As of right now, I really wish I was back in Africa taking pictures of the land my late brother loved so much. Mika stood pause on the issue. Oh, Mika, what's the matter? Asked Trini. I also have a dead brother who too also died. I also had my dead brother too who also died in Africa. He died from some disease he contacted while he was taking pictures of a land he loved so much. So I decided to follow in his footsteps until I was chosen to be a Bioman, said Mika. I'm sorry, said Trini. You know, on the topic of Africa, you may have noticed that Aizuki left out Aisha, who stayed behind in Africa to help endangered animals, and Tanya, who became the Yellow Zeo Ranger in her place. I don't think it's racism because he did include Zack, and only identified him as a black guy. Damn it! I wouldn't bring this up if he didn't leave out these two, but kept everyone else from the Zoran era. And yes, we will get Justin and the Space Rangers later on, so either he forgot, or he just didn't give a crap about either of them. Probably because they don't meet his standards of beauty, but I digress. By the way, whether you believe me or not, I'm not of this world.